Hello everyone. In this video I want to show you two quick blitz games I played where I won a piece in 9 moves using the King's Gambit. So let's get to these games. The first one went as follows with e4, e5, f4, e takes f4, and I started with this move bishop to c4, the bishop's gambit, and after bishop e7, I played the move knight to f3, just continuing with a standard development. And from this position, my opponent's idea behind bishop e7 was to play the bishop h4 check, so that my king would lose the right to castle. And we end up in this position in 2 games actually, but in either one was my opponent able to find the best move. In the first game he got into trouble quite quickly by playing this move knight to h6, which doesn't really sort of succeed in developing kingside in the best way. And after the move d4, it's simply very difficult for black to defend his extra f-pawn. Because in the King's Gambit, if you can regain this pawn, you just get quite a dominant position in general, with a very strong center. So my opponent tried to defend that pawn with g5. And now what would you say is the best move for white in this position? So well done if you spotted the move g3. It's a very typical move in the King's Gambit to get rid of this f4 pawn, but here it has a clear tactical point after f takes and h takes g3, that if black does play bishop takes g3, which is what he played in the game, I can simply play rook h6 or first bishop takes g5 with a completely winning position. So that's how the first game went, which I went on to win in a few moves. The other game was a slightly different move order, where I started with knight f3, but he still played bishop to e7, and we got to the same position. Bishop to c4, bishop to h4, king f1, and this time he tried the move knight c6, but he still ended up in trouble quite quickly, where after d4 and d6 and bishop takes f4, white simply had a very comfortable position with this monster center. After bishop f6 and c3, I thought his idea would be to play bishop to g4, though it could perhaps run into queen to b3 with a fork on these 2 pawns. So being afraid of that, black tried the move bishop e6. But okay, do you see the problem with this move with white to play? So well done if you spotted the move I played in the game. Played the move d5 and just going for a simple fork on these 2 pieces. And it turns out that the counterattack knight a5 doesn't really save black, as I can take on e6 anyway. And on knight c4, I can use the loose pieces drop off dictum, playing queen a4 to just win the knight. And my opponent kind of got sick of playing here, so he went for the self-mate of queen d7, and well, with this you can see how I checkmate him in 13 moves with a little help from him as such. So you might be wondering, well, if developing the knight is not so great here, then what should black do instead? And I did a little research on this line, and I found that my memory was correct in the game, that bishop e7 is the best move. And black will just subsequently play knight f6 and play for the d5 break. And that will, I think, give him quite good chances. For example, after knight to c3 and knight to f6, well, white can play move queen e2 to try to avoid some fork tricks with knight takes e4, knight takes e4, and d5, where we do want to keep our center. Having said that, black's position does seem quite good after, for instance, castles. One point in all these lines is that if white ever does play e5, that black can play knight h5 and keep his extra pawn in that way, defending it from the bishop. But after bishop takes d4, even though optically the position looks quite good for white, I do feel like the position of this king on f1 will be a bit of a long-term issue. And after rook e8, I have a feeling that black's probably objectively in quite a good position here. So yeah, I hope you found this video interesting for showing some nice tricks in the bishop e7 King's Gambit, but also offering a sort of 2-in-1 system that you can play after both knight f3 and bishop c4. If you sort of like this idea of kind of moving the bishop back and then pushing for d5, then this might appeal to you a lot. So in any case, thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.